Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. Strangle your demons and let's go.
Y'all need Jesus!
Que on the güero, que on the güero, boom, boom, que on the güero. Yeah, what's up, white boy? What's up? Yeah, I figured I'd start with that Beck song instead of my Tarzan boy. I probably got tired of my hooting and hollering. At the same time, I've been told that that's a bit of the allure of the Comfortable in Chaos podcast with your host, Eric Hellberg. We like raw. And isn't raw better? Raw vegetables are better than cooked vegetables, right? Raw fish, sushi. Everyone loves it. Heck, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he drank a lot of raw eggs. In fact, he didn't vary his diet. He would just eat a lot of cottage cheese, a lot of high-quality protein, a lot of raw eggs. And then when he needed to cut weight and or diminish body fat, he ate the same exact thing. Nothing fancy. He just ate less of it. Raw is better. I mean, guys, when I do this show for you, unless I commit a colossal F-up, I don't do a retake. If my roosters are crowing, they're crowing. You know, I did an episode for you entitled Under Mexican Rule while I was in the middle of a stakeout. It's no different than if we're having a beer or a cup of coffee and we're just sitting here rapping with one another because we're interested in one another. We're trying to figure things out. We're trying to learn something new. We're trying to collaborate. And I would tell you that the more raw and authentic you are, the more you will be able to better identify those who are false. And we live in a world of falsehood. Oftentimes a bunch of BS, flattery, and just fake people that aren't even grounded or even know who they actually are. We want to know who we are. We want our families to know who we are. Case in point, you heard me mention that movie a few episodes back, The Sounds of Freedom. While they're in that Colombian jungle village, the dudes are all singing and drinking tequila or God knows what, and they're just singing their hearts out, slapping each other on the back, having a great old time. Here's where the disconnect occurs. And you know I was just on a stakeout. I just got back after I left there, I went and ran some accounts in Laredo. All hell broke loose, but thank God it all worked out. Our timing was impeccable. But like DG Operator says in Quora Digest, he's an old DevGru guy, SEAL Team 6, in layman's terms, preparation is everything. And we were prepared. The target changed a little bit, and we had to be very malleable and make that happen, but we were able to do so. But our authenticity comes into play when, you can play grab ass with your buds and you can put that energy and emotion and all these things with them. But as long as you're doing it with your family, that is great. Oftentimes what happens in hard men's lives is we act that way with our buds or in our hobbies, our sports, our pursuits. But then that energy level and or that passion is lacking with our own spouses. My hand goes up, I've been guilty. And if you're genuinely, for the most part, a good man, well, that should suffice. Well, it doesn't suffice. If our wives are watching us put that amount of inordinate energy, fun, emotion, effort into other endeavors, but they're not receiving it, then they have a right to question us and ask for it. And if you don't know how to crack your own internal vault and deliver that bounty to your wife, ask her. She'll show you exactly how to walk up to the teller, fill out a deposit slip, and then make the deposit. Just food for thought. On another note of that Sounds of Freedom, I had forgot about this and how insidious this problem is. Back in the day, and I have a very beautiful wife, she had 3 or 4 different guys. They would spend a lot of time in and out of Mexico, approach her as they were crossing back on the U.S. side, to do modeling for them. But I have a very sagacious mother-in-law. She also makes great enchiladas, but not enough. And she prohibited my wife, her daughter, from doing so at that time because she really knew what was behind that. And even back then, that would have been in the 80s. They were stealing and abducting ladies. Think Ciudad Juarez and all the women that went up missing. All the while they would tout them. El Paso, the cross-border town, is one of the safest places in America. That's bullshit. They'd kill them in Mexico, dump them in El Paso. Murders didn't occur there. That's not a safe city for those who are actually paying attention. But just another piece of information. And then finally going back to this job, this is more like a ramble. We're rambling on like Led Zeppelin here, but it is so prescient. This is what is missing oftentimes in our lives as husbands and fathers. While I was waiting for my tractors to appear and hook up to these trailers we had found, in the adjacent yard next to me where I was sitting in front, I had 3 borracho Mexicanos, man. They had American music playing, like dance music. And they had Pitbull going, a couple of gals. They had that old variation of, this Tupac song. Man, they were working on these tractors, doing an in-frame, dancing around, drinking, yelling back and forth to each other. And, it's a Saturday night. Maybe they could have been at home. Maybe this absolutely had to get done. All I'm saying is if you can invest that same time and energy with your buddies and or your hobbies and or even at work, take some time to start making a parallel split and give it to your wife and give it to your kids. Your family will be better for it. You will become a more wholesome human being. And your life will be better for it. Because if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. So just a short ramble from Eric Hellberg, your host of the Comfortable in Chaos podcast. I'm back home, I'm back in town, and that means more messages will be flowing. Take care, my burgeoning flock.
Until next time, like and subscribe to the Comfortable in Chaos